Welcome to the agenda after an inspiring and gutsy win over the Dockers in Perth. With me is Jay Clark from the Herald Sun. Jay, what a win.
It was pretty tough, Chriso. In fact, it was full of heart and ticker, this performance. The numbers just sort of say, and history says, when you're down 2 or 3 men in that last quarter, away from home, you just don't win those games. It's very, very difficult. And we saw Collingwood, Tyson Goldsack playing with one arm, Wells and Elliott already off, Greenwood hobbling. They just toughed it out. Guys were playing without rotation, unchanged in the last quarter, and there were some huge moments. Now, we go back to the first 5 weeks, Chriso, and there's questions about the coach. And we've seen over the last 6 weeks quite clearly and quite emphatically on Sunday that this is a really engaged football team. So in terms of the Nathan Buckley conversation, you only have to look back to Sunday's game, and I reckon the Collingwood players were all in. It was unbelievable.
No doubt about that.
But it was costly, Chriso.
Well, this is the thing. Now, what happens? Massive game against Melbourne. We're going to be without some of the stars. How are we going to cope?
Big changes, and Elliott has been the most important player we've seen over the past month, so he is going to be almost impossible to replace. I'm looking at H to come back in, Callum Brown maybe his debut on Queen's birthday, Faz, we'll see how he's feeling, maybe Henry Shade, I'm not so sure, but Ace with some class, I think Reid and Varco probably won't play. So it's going to test the Pies, no doubt, without Elliott in particular. But Melbourne, you've had a good look at it.
Absolutely. It's a massive game. They are outstanding with their contested ball. That's going to be something that Collingwood will have to match. But what we've noticed over the last 5 or 6 weeks is the way Collingwood have changed the way they've played. Exactly. They rank basically at the top of the table for ball out of halfback into attacking 50, which is fantastic. And the use of the corridor, they rank second for using the corridor over that period that you speak about. So it's going to be a challenge, but Melbourne are a very, very good football team. But they are missing some of their stars, Jay.
They are. They are the #1 pressure side, Chriso. So when you look at Melbourne, they bring more pressure around the footy, these young bulls around the pill, than any other team. So they're going to... It's interesting to say that because Melbourne is going to test specifically Collingwood's boys. They're going to bring the heat. And on a big stage, 80, maybe even 90,000 at the MCG. Massive. Collingwood hasn't beaten Melbourne on their last 3 occasions. So they're looking for the first win in 4 times. These changes are going to hurt, but Melbourne are going to bring the heat. That's what Nathan Buckley will be saying before the game to the players. Be ready for the heat.
It's 9th versus 10th. A win here, 6 and 6, squares the ledger, which I don't think anyone would have thought. So a massive game.
A win could get one of these 2 teams in the top 8. Hey, extension on the midfield. So pre-season champion data rated Collingwood's midfield the best in the competition, and Melbourne's the worst. So this was 1st versus 18th in the midfield battle, and I think there are a lot of snickering, a lot of eyebrows raised before the season started. I reckon over the past month, Chriso, 5 weeks, even going back to the Geelong game, we've seen this Collingwood midfield come to the fore. We said last week that the weekend's game was set up for Adam Treloar. If ever there was a game set up for Adam Treloar, he was absolutely...
Didn't he seize the moment?
He was fantastic. And you know what? He's put together an excellent month. You know, he's been brilliant over the last 3 weeks. Pendlebury, I reckon, to be a sore boy today, but he was fantastic as well. And the Brownlow race is interesting because it's wide open. We got Dusty, Danger, Rory, Sloane. It's there to be won. Can one of the Pies boys win it? I reckon it's a bit more even than that. Maybe Treloar and Pendlebury are the best 2 chances, but I think as a collective, and Taylor Adams is probably an unsung hero in this Collingwood midfield. He's been very good. I think as a collective, the Collingwood midfield is flexing its muscle and showing how good it is, but it'll be tested against the likes of Clayton Oliver and Jack Viney on the weekend.
Viney.
Hey, we mentioned Tyson Goldsack. You've been banging on about this bloke for a few weeks.
He is a superstar, isn't he? He's just...
Well, he's unsung.
Well, he is, and he was absolutely outstanding with what he did yesterday. He was absolutely winning. You can see his right shoulder here. He went off the ground early in the day. Look at him wincing, and he stayed out. Now, that was... in the final quarter. He stayed out for all but 3 or 4 minutes of that final quarter. Now watch the effort here and just watch him grasp that right hand. He couldn't even, he was winged. And he is an incredible player. And
inspiring.
What he did here, look at his right arm. Oh, he couldn't even move it. No. And to be able to do what he did and effectively end up with the Crocker goal, which sealed the game for the Magpies, was just phenomenal stuff. And he's only one of 3 players that played yesterday from the 2010 Premiership team, still Sidebottom and Scott Pendlebury being the others. But to do what he did was just incredible.
I reckon at the start of the season, we're wondering if Tyson Goldsack was in Collingwood's best 22. He'd be clearly leading the club for 1%ers, sacrificial acts. etc. That was bloody inspiring.
Yeah, it certainly was. Let's get to our Monday moments, and this was pretty special. Hoskin Elliott, he was absolutely fantastic. Have a look at this, because this was at a critical part of the game. He's run from half-back. Now, he was confronted, no one else behind him, and he tried the old rugby tactic, the kick and chase. Now, Johnson got a hand on there, but that was just incredible stuff. Put the Magpies 10 points in front. And just have a look, he just intended just to chip this over the top of Johnson, realising there was no one else there. He was going to run onto it, and it just worked, an absolute treat. He was fantastic. He was good all day. Will Hoskin Elliott, that was great stuff.
And I wonder with Elliott down whether he can play maybe more of a forward role. We love that run, but I wonder if he's an option to play more inside 50 going forward without Jamie Elliott. I don't think he went to the bench even in that last quarter. I must check that. So great endurance, a great effort.
Now, what about yours?
Benny Crocker. So this is a man who has to step up in the forward 50 as well without Elliott. So it's good that we highlight him. Had an up and down day, it's fair to say, at Subiaco, but this highlight at the end of it, look at it, 83 to 92, Tyson Goldsack. A desperate effort, couldn't get it, so battled these there, Darcy Moore, and then Benny Crocker has the cleanness with 6 minutes to go, Chris. So just watch this moment here. So Tyson Goldsack, we just said how gutsy he is, battling there with the one chicken wing, desperation on the line, Darcy Moore, good effort, and then Benny Crocker finds the gap, snaps, and it was crucial. Hey,
no, it's not. Mine's not very well put on. But you look resplendent in your Freeze MND beanie. What a day it's going to be on Monday.
It's probably the greatest, not the greatest cause in footy. It is an exceptional cause in football. People have got round it every year, raising millions and millions and millions of dollars for a great cause, motor neurone disease. Neil Danaher, of course. We're just all so inspired by his work in this space. Do what you can, people. Donate, grab a beanie, be watching on Monday. They're all going to go down the slippy slide. Are you going to go down your budgies?
No. But fightmnd.com.au is the website. Log on and donate for what is a wonderful cause. Freeze 3 at the MCG on Monday. It's going to be a big one. Collingwood versus Melbourne. Let's hope for a Magpie win.